welcome back to my channel. I am going to be doing the tutorial for the traveler's notebooks I made for my this leather cover I had. I did a walkthrough on another video, so you might want to look at that, but this is actually a lighter color pink. I ended up switching over because I want the darker pink for the paper collection that I'm going to use today. So I'm going to be using, oh, there's a big time glare. I'm going to be using Life is Beautiful. This is the 8x8 collection from Country Craft Creations. And on the original one, I had used Homer's Diner. Like I said, I did switch covers, but I'll just give you a quick, I ended up laminating these dashboards just so that I put something on the back because I couldn't stand it plain black, just so you can attach paper clips or hook things onto. I was going to make it a shaker, but I ended up not doing it. So this tutorial is basically for not the actual inserts, but the insert covers, so that you can continue to use them over and over, and you don't have to throw them away if it's once the paper's gone. So this is just for the insert covers. So there's 3 inserts, and then there's one that's going to be just like a folder to hold on to like loose papers or receipts or whatever it is that you have. So I'll show you. You make these the same way that you would make the actual cover for the inserts. So this turned out really super cute because of the paper, but I'm going to be doing the tutorial for you. This is the back dashboard that I ended up laminating. So let me show you what it's going to look, what I'm going to be covering today. And I might end up, I usually don't decorate on camera. I usually do that off camera, but I might go ahead and do some decorating on camera if you're curious. But these are basically the insert covers, okay? And so it's super easy. They're made out of a file folder. So here's the file folder, and I'll give you the measurements. I had actually made one before. I had talked to Stacy, who had gifted me a traveler's notebook, and she had made these and I loved them, and she gave me the okay to do a tutorial on them, but I had made them different. And so now that I've used, I contacted her, and she kind of told me how she did this part. They're fitting much better because my original one, it was too tight. So anyway, there's reinforcement in the center, and they fit a B6 size, so that's like a 5x7. Okay, so I'm not doing the actual inserts. I'll do that on a separate video with the stitching to keep them together. It used to be that I would just tuck them underneath the cord and not stitch them so that you could take out the paper and reuse it, but now that these slip covers are going to be made, we can just toss the old ones. So all right, so I've already made these. This is one with the it's actually got the traveler's notebook slipped inside, so you can see it just slides in here. So it's going to have 3 of different notebooks. This one has 1 lined, 1 graph, and 1 calendar, and then this one I'll end up using as the folder and add some pockets and stuff. So like I said, we're going to start with a file folder, and file folders are not even. So if you take a look at my scoreboard here, you can see that it's wider up here than it is down here. So these are not evenly cut. So when we cut these, we're going to end up using this as our guide because this is straight. Okay, so you can see this way it's narrow and wider. So what we're going to do is we want to cut just a little bit off here, and then that will be straight. So let me kind of map it out for you with a pencil. My cutter, I bump up against the top. So then my cutter is this way, and my cutter is way too big for me to show you, but let me get a pencil. So when I place my folder in this direction, I'm just going to cut like a 1/4 inch strip off this side to even it out. Where did it go? Okay, I'm just going to cut off a 1/4 inch strip. So with it lined up against my cutter, that will straighten this out. Then I'm going to rotate it, and then I'm going to cut this direction, and this direction is 6 5/8. So I measure over 6 5/8, and then I cut. And then I rotate it one more time, and I cut at 7 inches. So I end up with a 5x7 piece when it's closed. Okay, so let me tell you that one more time just to make sure. I place this up against my guide. I cut off a 1/4 inch strip to even it out, and then I rotate it once, keeping the folder closed, and I measure over 6 5/8, cut it off. Then I rotate it one more time because this will now be even and straight, and I cut so it's 7 inches. Okay, so that's how you do the cutting of the folder. And then I'm going to give you the scoring next, and you know, you could obviously adjust this to fit a different size notebook if you have different sizes. I will be back in just 2 seconds. I'm going to cut this, and so then I'll do the scoring with you. Alright, so this is the actual notebook cover. I am going to erase that marking. I didn't know that would show up. Okay, and then these are the leftover pieces just to kind of show you how I cut them. What I'm going to do now is cut some 1-inch strips that I'm going to need as hinges and as reinforcement for the spine piece. So go ahead and take your excess and just cut a couple 1-inch long pieces so that we can use those. Alright, so for this piece we are going to score it on the ends. We're going to score at 1.5 on each end, and I'll go through it probably twice, 2 or 3 times, just because it's a little bit thicker being as it's a file folder. And then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to score at 1.5 on this end also. Okay, now this piece is just a hair over 7 inches long. This is going to reinforce the center part. So I did it just a little bit longer than 7, but it is 1 inch wide, and I'm just going to go ahead and score that at 1/2 for right now. And then I have 2 pieces that are 1 3/8 by 1. So with the 1 inch across the top, score at 1/2, and do that on both of them. So put the 1 inch across the top, score at 1/2. So super easy. So let's go ahead and do our burnishing now. On all of them. By using these pieces as what's the word I'm looking for, like hinges, it gave my folder a little bit more space, because originally I had cut it so that there was a piece coming off the edge that was a 1/2 inch that I tucked under, but it just made it too tight. So having them separate is going to be helpful. So let's go ahead and continue burnishing this one now. Now we're not going to put any paper on the inside just because we don't want extra bulk, and you won't see this just because you'll have another booklet inside. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a lot of glue on this, and I'm going to attach it to the center. So I'm going to line this up, and it should be just a little bit longer. We'll cut off the excess. And so let's go ahead now, and because when you have those bands wrap around, you just want to make sure that this is going to hold its shape and not wear out or wear down. So this extra thickness is going to help. Make sure I get it in the center. Don't be afraid to add too much glue. Okay, so just line it up, the center that you scored at 1/2, line it up with this 1/2 inch. And then I start to push it down, and then I'm going to turn it upside down so I can line it up from the back to see that it lines up right. Okay, so then let's just go ahead and burnish the heck out of this. Get rid of any excess glue. Give it a second to dry. Let's cut off that excess that's hanging off the end. You can use your paper cutter if you want. I'm just going to use my scissors and snip it off. Okay, while this is drying, let's go ahead now and do the hinges that we're going to attach to these 1.5 inch flaps. We want it to open to the inside, and we're going to place it to the top of this 1.5 inch. Don't put it all the way down to the bottom where the score mark is. Bring it to the top. So I'll just add some glue on one side. And I'm going to place it at the top. Line it up at the top and the side. Make sure it's all the way to the edge. Okay, and burnish that. We'll do this to all 4 corners. So, oh, you know what? I need 4 of these. I only cut 2. You need a total of 4 that are 1 inch by 1 3/8, not 2. Okay. That excess glue. All right, and let's do the same thing to this side. Let's glue those to the top and line them up with the top and the side. So at this point, now that this is dry, I want to score again at the where it's going to fold to give it a memory, and then I'm going to also score on either side of that by 1/8. So I'm going to line that up so that it lines up with my center. And I'm going to go ahead and score that again, just to kind of make sure that it folds easy. I think I'm going off the track. And then I'm going to go on either side of that mark. Just go 1 mark over on your scoreboard. Oh, shoot. Okay. Let's go ahead and fold it in half. Make sure it lines up. So I like to just kind of make sure everything lines up before I give it a good scoring. Okay. And I just kind of round it off. Just to give it some flexibility around the cords. Okay, so this is the notebook that I'm using. It's pre-made. This video is not for this today, and it is about this one actually looks about 4 15/16, so it's almost a 5. And it is about 6 7/8 inches long. So we want to, as we're putting it in, or before we glue these down, if we stick this in here first and fold it over, that's going to give us a pretty good idea. Oh, this one is, sorry. We want to make sure that it has a snug fit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these. Now that I did a dry fit and it worked. I'm actually going to go ahead and put these down. And let them dry a little bit. On the other one I made, I did have the booklet actually in here as I was gluing it down, but it did get a little cumbersome, so being as I know it'll fit, I didn't leave the booklet inside. So let's just do a quick dry fit to make sure we're still good. Yes, indeed. Okay, and I'm going to wrap it around, and I want to make sure that this will go inside here all right. And it does. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and take that back out now that I know that it'll fit, because I don't need to do any adjusting. I'm going to bring that up and over. Make sure it lays down flat, no ripples. I don't like it when there's a loose bump in the center. And again, this way, it's not, instead of decorating this booklet, now we always have a cute cover that we can just pull this out and put in a new one. The more we burnish and flatten it, the better it looks. So I'm just going to tuck this inside, wrap it around, and there we go. Now I'm going to actually decorate this with the booklet inside so that I can make sure that I line everything up right. And I will go ahead and decorate at least a couple of them with you. So that's the basic. I mean, it's just like a sleeve, a cover, so that was pretty easy. It's the decorating that makes it come to life. So I will do one that's plain so you can see how I do that to hold like extra papers and stuff, and then I'll go ahead and show you the types of pockets that I added to the front, and on the backs I just made them. I'll show you just to refresh our memories. So on this one I'm going to go ahead and show you, just make a little pocket, and then it has a tie closure to keep it down. And did I leave it open? No. Okay, and then on the back, or on the inside, I always put a cut apart to kind of keep this down flat. Same way with the back piece. And then this piece I left open at the top so you could put a place for a picture, and that just tucks in right behind there. But this is actually an envelope, so you could tuck in receipts or business cards or something. This one I use the envelope punch board. Okay, this one has a pocket down here just with regular paper, an angled pocket. These I left open. These are tuck spots to put something underneath, so you can just slide in something for it to hold. This one I just have a graphic 45 tag at an angle so that you can, and I left it open at the top, so this is going to be easy to do. This one just has one simple pocket. This one is a large pocket, and you'll see here you have quite a good size mat. And I do have a punch for that. These are on foam dots. And then on the back I just have a cut apart that I left open so you can tuck something in. Okay, so we will decorate. These are double matted, so you can do that if you want. Being as I plan on keeping them for a while, I thought the double matting would help keep them more durable also. So, all right, so let's go ahead and we will start with this one, I believe. You can put these in any order you want. Yeah, I'll start with this one. So I've been working off camera to do some of the matting, just to speed up the video a little bit. On all of the inside pieces to mat, I did a 1 3/8 inch by 6 3/4 inch black piece, and then I went back and did 1 1/4 by 6 5/8 for the pattern paper. So I did that on the front and back covers, and then I went ahead and cut out the cutouts or the little ephemera pieces and matted those on black. So I did do this one. It was super easy. So all of the mats I did 4 7/8, at least the bottom one. This one's double matted. I don't know if you can see that. 4 7/8 by 6 7/8, and so you just keep going 1/8 of an inch smaller if you want to keep matting going in. So my outside mat is like that lime green, and then I have a black mat, and then I have the actual paper. So on my original book I had a larger graphic 45 tag, but it was big and I didn't want to block these cute balloons, so I'd used a smaller graphic 45 tag I had, and it had this Celebrate already punched out of it, so I just put black paper behind it so you could see it better, and then I just put some pattern paper and matted it on black here. Have a couple ribbons in the 3 different colors, so this is kind of a tealy color green, and then this pink is trying to peek through here a little bit. And then I just took some of with the 8x8, you know, obviously the cut aparts are a lot smaller, and so I just matted those, and I'm going to tuck those behind the tag. Okay, so I do need to make one for you to show you how to do the front pocket one that I had. And so again, I did 4 7/8 for the width, and then I did 6 7/8 for the length, and then I went in 1/8 of an inch smaller with my pattern paper. So I'm going to do the pocket. I have a 5 by 12 piece of paper, and we might have to end up trimming it, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it sideways here on the long way, and I'm going to score at 3 1/2. I'll turn it, score at 1/2. Now I think this one I'm going to wait on this one. I think I'll do 1/2 on the other side too then, with the 5 inches across the top, because like I said, I might have to trim it. Okay, so we are going to miter the corner here where the line is that we scored. We're going to cut on either side of that. On both sides. Okay, now I am going to take my trimmer and cut off these 1/2 inch pieces, these long ones. So give me a second here and I'll do that off camera real quick. So I took off the 1/2 inch on the long side. Now I gotta do it on the other side. So this is what you'll have. I'm going to go ahead and do my burnishing and decide if I need to cut this. I think the original paper I used was 8.5 by 11, and this is 12 inches, so that's why I'm wondering if I'm going to need to do that. And I can't find my... There it is. Okay. So then we're going to bring that up and glue it. Now you can kind of decide how long you want this to be. I wanted the top flap to almost meet this bottom pocket. And so I'm just going to go ahead and score it with my hand. And then I'll give you a measurement here. So I scored down on that end at about 2 3/8. Now I am going to angle this short piece. Okay. Now when you put this on your page, like so, you are going to want to put your closure on behind it. So I'm going to find the ribbon that I want to use, and I need to find which paper. So I really like, where'd it go? I really want this down here, and then I need something, I might go with just a plain color on the top. So we'll see. There's that blend in too much. Maybe I'll matte this on a lime green first and then put this on. We'll see the back. On the other one I did, I just had a stopper down here with the cut apart. This one, I went ahead and made a belly band, and then I put the stopper at the bottom. So I've already got this on this side, so I kind of want something different. So let me see. I need something kind of bold, I think. And I could do this on the top. Yeah, I could. I also haven't used this, and that would blend. And then I could, yeah, I think I'm going to do, maybe I'll put the, is this too wide? Oh, it'll barely fit, but it will. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this at the top, and probably that on, I don't know if I like that. Now you can see my process here, how long it takes me to decide what I'm going to do. Maybe I just want the trees on the bottom. Let's see, what do I have on the back here? And then on the inside I have, maybe I want this on the bottom. Nope, too close. All right, well, I'll figure it out. Let me go get the ribbon, and then I'll show you how to adhere that to your front to get it on here with the ribbon behind it. This is how I ended up decorating the front. I was going to matte this, but then I couldn't get the words on, so I went ahead, and I'm not going to do anything on the back because it's going to be glued to the bottom. And I'm going to attach, I'm going to put a strip of score tape on the back, and then it will tie in the center. Okay, so let me get just a, you don't need much. This is just 1/4 inch score tape, and I'll just put a strip down the center. We're going to end up putting a bunch of glue all over it anyway, so it doesn't matter if there's some that's not covered. I'll find the center of my ribbon, or close to it. Okay, press that down. I am actually going to go ahead and tie it now so that I can do a better job of getting that glued down. I have not been having much luck tying bows lately. Oh my gosh, I need another hand. Doesn't help that I have to have a band-aid on either. Oh, for Pete's sake. This shouldn't be this hard to tie a stupid bow. Oh my gosh. Bear with me here. I may not get it very tight, but Pete's sake. Jeez Louise. That was ridiculous. Okay. Sorry. Now I'll just put a bunch of glue and I will set that right there. I'd rather have too much than not enough on this part. I am going to put some on the actual ribbon too. Alright, and I'm just going to center it. That looks pretty good. Give it a good rub. Alright, so there's the front of that one and the back. This one, like I said, this belly band, if this is 4 7/8, the black that's matted, you would go 5 7/8, score it half on each end, and you can make it as wide as you want. And then I just put some mat and some of the pattern paper on there and a stopper down at the bottom. So there's one booklet. The next one, I think I already showed you this one. Yep. I need to do the back of this one, and all I did was use my envelope punch board, and so I'll make an envelope for this one. I am going to mat it first. I do have some green left, so maybe I'll mat it in this, and then I will, what paper have I not used yet? I could do this because it's going to be covered. Yeah, maybe I'll, that might be, might want a little variety. I do really like this paper. Maybe I'll do this one. That's different enough. Yep. Okay, so 4 7/8 by 6 7/8, and then I will measure out my envelope. I think I'm going to go with a 4 by 4 for a 4 by 4 card, so I would need a 7 by 7 piece of cardstock for the envelope punch board. Alright, so I'm sure you know how to use the punch board, but I went with 7 by 7, and so I have to put it at the 3.5 inch mark. And I need, where's my little, here. You punch, and then you follow the guide here, and so this time I just line up the score with this little pokey thing that's coming out, and I'm going to go ahead and follow that line. Now I'm going to try and do 6 7/8 by 6 7/8, for the next one and see if I can make that, then cut it for the pattern paper instead of trying to trace it. This didn't line up exactly right, but okay. And now I'm going to corner round all of these. And let's fold this up and over. Down. Yeah, it's not perfect, but okay, this on the outside. So let me see. Now I'm not going to glue, I'm just going to glue around 3 sides so I can put a mat behind it. I kind of want to see that butterfly down there, or that dragonfly. And I'm thinking about using this. I could just put it behind here and trace it. Maybe that's what I'll do. And then cut inside the line. That might be smarter. Let me try that. I'm going to trace. So what I'm going to do line that up. I'll take my pencil and so now that I have that, I'll just cut on the inside of that line, and if it's too big then I can just trim it. I don't see the line very well. So let's see what that does. It's not bad. Yeah, I think that would be okay. Yeah, so I'm going to do that to all. I'm going to do it to these 3 sides, and I'm going to use a different pattern paper up here, and then I'll just leave the inside blank. So let me cut out the other 3, or yeah, the other 3 pieces. Just like we did before, I put score tape underneath here, and now I'm just going to put glue around the 3 edges. My glue's getting clogged. Okay. Put it on the ribbon also. Even. Okay, give it a good burnish and make sure it's down there real good. Okay, and now we'll just put a mat behind there. I could do this color. I think I'll go with black. So if this is about, I'm going to try a 4-inch. I'll see if 4 inches, because with the glue it takes away some of this. Okay, I went with 3 7/8. Nope. This is 3 1/2. There we go. And and I want it to go, I'm going to draw myself a little line so I know where to cut it. Okay, and then I'll mat it, and then I do have this punch. You see that? The lighting is bad. And I will put a little tab on there. Do I want it to be, I think maybe I just want it, I'll see what this looks like. Let me just fold it, did it the wrong way. Yeah, I think I just want the solid. Okay, so I'll go ahead and mat this, and then I'll put that behind there. And then what do I have next? This one was just a stopper. What do I do on this one? Oh, this one is just a large pocket too. Okay, let me get my paper ready for that pocket. Okay, here we go. 5 by 10 this one is, and I'm going to just make it a long pocket. So I need to put the 5 inches across the top, and I'm going to score at 1/2. I'm going to score it exactly in half at 5 when on the 10-inch side, and then I will go ahead and do half on this side again. Oh, that wasn't half, this one is. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut out at an angle that score on the side here. So I take out a little triangle. So the score mark I cut at a diagonal on each side of it. I'm going to miter the top. I do need to cut off the bottom piece, 1/2 inch side. You can cut it. It's going to be to the back, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and cut it with scissors. And this one also. Let's go ahead and backwards, here we go. Burnish that. And burnish this 1/2 inch. Now we are going to make a thumb hole. Okay, this, I need to trim this. It's a little bit wider than let's see if that does it. I think that's gonna do it. Okay, so now I'm going to mat my paper before I glue it so I can do a thumb hole, and it's easier to put your pattern paper on first. So what do I have for pattern paper? That's going to show a little bit more, but that's okay. Maybe I'll like do an Art Deco thing. Maybe I'll do this. Yeah, let's do that. So if this is 5 inches, this will be 4 7/8. And my width is just a scrap paper. It's like 2 1/8. Okay. Yeah, might as well. Let's see what happens. I have no idea what it's going to look like, but I'm just going to go with it and see what happens. this glue off. I wish I had just a little bit more of that. I guess I could do, nah. Okay, so then I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna do, if this is 5 inches, I'll do this 4 7/8. I'll do 4 3. Yeah. That won't work. How do I want to do this? Sorry, I'm thinking out. You'll see me as I'm going here. Let's do 3 1/2. Okay, that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll put, yep, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this down. I think I've said this before, but some people have an idea in their head as to what they're going to do and have it ready and just start. Oh shoot, I design as I go. So I never know what it's going to look like. Alrighty. And so I need pattern paper, and that will be 3 3/8 by, we'll say 4 1/4. 3 3/8 by 4 1/4. Let me cut that and I'll be back. Okay, this is why I don't mat on camera, because I just change my mind a lot and I never know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down. That looks trying to even it out. Ugh. There's so many layers. Oh, I can't get through it. I have to take my scissors. So many layers of paper, I couldn't get it to go through. All right. That looks tacky. Hold on. Okay, that's better. Let's go ahead and ink that real quick. Now we can glue it down, and I think I'll have I don't really like that, but whatever. Oh well, it's funky. So this will go here. I really don't like that. I don't like that black. You know what? Maybe if I put something underneath. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a different color underneath. Do I want this? Nope. Do I want that? Fast forward if you're bored out of your mind. Sorry. I'm looking at my scraps. That's better. It needs some color so the blacks don't blend in here. That won't work. I don't want to cut into my paper if I don't have to. Yeah, let's just do that. So I'm just going to glue Yep, okay. Let's go ahead and glue this down. And now I'm going to go ahead and just glue this behind that thumb hole, just so it cuts it up a little bit, and you can see that they're like that. It's kind of funky, but I kind of like that. Maybe I'll, yeah, let's do it. I could put an angle here so that it could hold something. Maybe I will. All right, I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to put a little angled pocket down there, I think, because I don't like the looks of that. I'll be back. I've been sitting here thinking and thinking and thinking, and I just don't like this. I just don't. So I will save that for something else. So what I did was I took the mat that I had back here. It was kind of busy, so I put this in the back instead, and then I'm going to glue this here, and then I'll tuck this like so. I don't know if that's any better. We'll see what that does. Let's try it, because I'm done. It's almost 1 in the morning and I'm just kind of done. Everything's just not looking quite right to me, but maybe once it's all put together it will. And then just have this off to the side. Too late now. I gotta do it. I'm gonna trim this. Yeah. No, yeah. All right. Maybe I'll like this better. Okay. That works. That's fine. That's fine. It's going to have to be. Okay. So now it's just a matter of putting these in the order I want. I kind of like this one first. Yeah. Okay, so the last thing is the folder. And on my folder, it was easier because it was a 12 by 12 pad. I just make an angled pocket, and then I cut this, fussy cut her out, but I don't have anything like that in this 8 by 8 collection. And then I just used a 4 by 6 cut apart back here with these corner pieces. So, and I left the insides pretty basic, but I did cover those. So let me do the angled pocket, and then I think that's all I'm going to do on camera, and then I'll just come back and do a walkthrough of what it looks like when it's done. So let's first cover our paper, or our folder, this front part, with black. Let's do that first. And I'm going to have to cut the piece. So I want it to be 4 7/8 by 6 7/8, and then I'll show you how to do the pocket. Do I want it? Let's see. so I'm going to glue this down first. Yeah, because I kind of like the pocket to be a little bit smaller than the actual folder, so you can see kind of the more border. Alright, so let's do that. So I want my pocket not to go all the way to the edge. So I'm going to do 4.5, so 5 by, let's do a 5 by 7 pocket. So I'm going to actually use craft cardstock for this, the same color as the folder. What did I say I was going to do? So we're going to cut a piece that's 4.5. Let's do, okay, 5 by 7. All right, so we do need to score on each side 1/2 inch. So let's score at 1/2 and 1/2. We're going to angle, take out the square in the corner at an angle. I'm going to miter here and here. I'm going to go ahead and fold these back, and then it's kind of preference as to how far over you want to measure to make your cut. I like to usually give myself at least 1.5 inches. So I'm going to keep those tucked behind, and then I'm just going to kind of look to see. I think I want to go over 1.5, so I'll put a tick mark at the 1.5 inch. So about right there. And I think I'll go up 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut that on our cutter at an angle. Put your tick marks in the channel here. And then take a look at it, see if you like it. I think I might want to go down a little bit further. It's fine. Is it fine? Yes, it's fine. So I have some pencil marks to erase. And so when we put that on here, I can still see that border. I kind of like that look. And then I'll put pattern paper on. I don't know if I have any cut-aparts left, but we'll see what I can find. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish decorating off camera, and then I will be back to show you a final walkthrough, and hopefully, I'm just trying to think what I did on the back. I think I just did, yeah, just that cut apart. Okay, I'll go ahead and finish and come back and show you. Okay, it is now 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to show you the end result of what I have. I still need to laminate the inside, what do you call those? Dashboards. So this was I ordered this leather cover. It's a turquoise or teal color. I'm going to go ahead and just go through this really quick with you. So this is what I need to laminate the dashboard, so here we go. First insert is graph paper. There's the inside here. Back is just the same, just a different cut apart. And then there's that envelope, and there's a mat behind it. Here is the pocket that you can put something in here, and I made these corners, and I didn't like the way they looked, so I put some circles, looked a little bit more geometric. So then I ended up putting in, I matted this several times. Then we have the third one that just ended up being a little tuck spot. There's the inside, back. I really do like these pockets. And that flower I like too. There's the inside. And then there's that back piece. I might end up corner rounding those. And then there's another dashboard. So I like them chunky. That's chunky. I hope this wasn't too random for you. I will probably do another tutorial on how to make the actual inserts. The ones that I have are 10 pages, so when you fold them in half, they're 20 pages that you have to write on. So there's that. And here's this one. So those are my two traveler's notebooks. I might make more. I do have another one. I still have this one, so I might just go back and make another one with a different paper collection. So again, I hope it wasn't too random. If you have questions, let me know, and I will plan on doing another tutorial for those inserts instead of just the insert covers. All right, good night, everybody.